Ever since Nano Banana dropped just a few weeks ago, we have been absolutely blown away by the ways in which it has transformed our creative experience. But specifically, I think there's some really interesting things that you can do in visual effects and filmmaking that I haven't seen around the industry. So that's what this video is all about. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to show you a few of my favorite ways to use Nano Banana in your film and video projects. Welcome to Curious Refuge. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's get to it. So let's kick things off with our very first example, crowd simulation. So let's set the stage. Let's say that we have this shot here that we shot for our film project of this knight character walking into this field, but we want to include an army in front of him, like he's walking to meet his army or to face the army in some sort of way. Well, how do we pull that off? Well, the first thing that we need to do is drag and drop that video footage into a video editing timeline. So I have our video footage here inside of Premiere Pro. I'll drag and drop to create a new sequence. And then there's this little button here to export a frame. Of course, you can do this in any video editing application like DaVinci Resolve. Just whatever tool you like using is the best tool for this project. And we'll call this screenshot. And go ahead and click export. So now that we have this screenshot image, it's time to edit this image using Nano Banana. So there's a lot of different ways in which you can use Nano Banana. My favorite way is to use FreePick because you can generate up to 4 images at a time. So more iteration just increases the overall speed in which you're able to work on your projects. To use FreePick, just click the link below this description. We don't use affiliate codes. We're not sponsored by them. We just really like their tool. So what we're going to do is go ahead and click on the Generate Image button inside of FreePick, and then under Model, make sure you're on Google and then select Nano Banana. Cool. So now first things first, let's go ahead and drag and drop our screenshot into the image reference section inside of FreePick. You'll also see here that you have the ability to upload up to 8 different images and edit them together, which is really cool. And for our prompt, we'll say place a medieval army in front of the knight and keep the same composition. So we don't want a different composition, same composition, but just with an army in front of them. And then at the very bottom, go ahead and click the button that will increase the number of generations up to 4. So you'll get 4 different images that you can pick from. Again, iteration is key when you're working on an AI project. You want to get as many images and videos as possible because you can pick and choose and basically direct more of the generations that you get. So we'll go ahead and click generate. It takes about 30 seconds when you're working inside of Nano Banana directly inside of FreePick. So we'll wait on that generation. Okay, cool. Let's take a look at a few of our results here. So we have shot number 1 here, and yeah, there's an army in front of him. You have shot number 2, the army's kind of facing him. Again, I like the shot. Shot number 3, not too bad. And then we have shot number 4. So I think all of these are pretty interesting. I think the very first one might be my favorite. This one here. So we'll go ahead and use this image. Now, you can go ahead and download this image to your computer and then animate the image using whatever model you want. If you want to go to Runway or Google VO or Seed Dance, it's completely available to you. But one really interesting feature inside of FreePick is you have the ability to generate the video clips directly inside of their platform. So once you like one of the images, all you have to do is go to the Create Video button, and then you can go ahead and change the model to any model you want. Now, some models are way cheaper than other models. So for example, Seed Dance Pro, which in my opinion is one of the best video models on the market, only takes 250 credits, which is not a lot inside of FreePick, whereas Google VO3 takes 4,800 credits. So the models are very different in terms of overall pricing. I'm gonna go ahead and select Seed Dance. And now it's going to ask for a prompt. We'll say a tracking shot from behind a knight as he approaches an army. And from our settings down here, we'll keep it in 1080p, which will give us maximum resolution. You also have the ability to select between 5 and 10 seconds, which is pretty cool. And then you can change the aspect ratio, but we'll just keep the aspect ratio as 16:9, obviously because our image was 16:9, and go ahead and click generate. And after about a minute, it created this video here. So we have our knight walking towards the army, And it did a really, really good job. There's a lot of fidelity in the individual characters, and they don't change too much whenever you zoom in. So it's doing a really good job compared to other AI video tools that will really morph some of those finer details in your characters. So this is really an amazing job using Seed Dance, and you could use this same technique to fill in crowds inside of everything from a city to a theme park, maybe even a football stadium. Whatever crowd projects you have, you could totally use this technique to pull it off. Next up, let's take a look at a visual effects example. So I have this shot here of this person basically looking around this field wearing a gas mask. And let's say that I want to completely change the environment. So I want to put this person in a war-torn environment where there's like fire and smoke in the background. Well, it's super easy to pull off. All you have to do is take that video clip and grab the very first frame as a screenshot. Okay, so we have the screenshot. Now it's time to edit the image. So let's go ahead and grab that screenshot. We'll drag and drop it into the Nano Banana reference section inside of FreePic. And for our prompt, we'll say, make this person standing in a battlefield with smoke and fire behind them. You can get as specific as you want. You could even composite images together of certain elements you want to see in the background. It's entirely up to you. And we'll go ahead and click generate. And after a few seconds, we have a few different images here. We have number 1, which yeah, looks pretty good. Number 2, not too bad. Number 3, and number 4. So I think all of these did a pretty good job, but I'm going to go with number 4 for this example here, and we'll go ahead and select create video. And for our prompt, we'll say a man in a mask looks around a war-torn battlefield, and go ahead and click generate. And after about a minute, it created this result here, and you can see the physical dynamics look almost perfect. The handheld camera movement, the fire, the smoke in the background, it's all coming across as pretty darn realistic. Now, I do think you could do a little bit of work with the compositing. It does seem like the lighting on the main character is a little different than the background, but it's always just a back and forth process. And the fact that you can do visual effects so quickly in just a few seconds is a huge testament to the power of Nano Banana. So for our next example, let's take a look at lighting changes. So I have this video clip here of this man and he's looking outside of a window, but it's daytime. Let's say that we want to convert this to nighttime. So I'm going to take a screenshot from the very beginning of that video clip, and let's go ahead and drag that image into the Nano Banana section inside of FreePic. And for our prompt, we're going to say change the lighting to nighttime, and go ahead and click generate. And after about 30 seconds, it created this shot here, which yeah, looks really good. We have this shot here, again, incredible result. This one here, maybe it's more sunset than nighttime. And then we have this shot here. So I really like this shot. I'm gonna go ahead and download this to my computer because I think that the fidelity of the individual blind strands is going to be a little too much for Seed Dance, and frankly, it's really expensive to run Google VO directly inside of FreePic. So let's go ahead and run over to Google directly to generate the video clips inside of that tool. So I'm here on the Google Flow website, and we'll go ahead and select Create with Flow. And let's go ahead and click on that new project button. So from this menu here, we'll go ahead and select frames to video. Now let's go ahead and drag in, we have our image here of the guy looking through the blinds, and we'll go ahead and select crop and save. And for our prompt, we'll say a man looks through blinds at night. And for the model, we'll go ahead and select VO3 quality. Now, I should note that if you have one of the professional accounts inside of Google, you actually can use VO3 fast, unlimited, and it doesn't count towards your credits, which is great, but the quality is not the best. And typically when I'm working on a project, I want the quality to be as good as possible. So it's kind of a trade-off there, but just worth noting. I'm going to select the quality option here. And for our outputs per prompt, you can select, all the way up to 4. I'm going to select 2 because it can get pretty expensive if you generate 4 at a time. And go ahead and click generate. And let's take a look at our video footage here. Not too bad, looks pretty realistic. Let's take a look at our second result. Again, a pretty decent generation. I think we could run this a couple more times. Maybe the blinds are a little weird, but for the most part, I think it did an amazing job. Okay, so this next example, I'm very excited to show you. So we're going to do a transformation effect using Nano Banana. And basically, we have this video footage here of this guy. He's just looking around like a hoodie wearing Sith Lord, I guess. And let's say that we want him to transform into this like evil mechanized character by the end of the shot. So it's kind of almost like a organic transformer effect. Well, what we need to do is take 2 screenshots. One screenshot for the beginning of the video, and then a screenshot at the end of the video. I'm going to use this second screenshot inside of Nano Banana. So let's go ahead and grab that second shot here, and I brought it inside of the image reference section inside of FreePic. And for our prompt, we're going to say, make the man's eyes red and turn half of his face into metal. And let's go ahead and click generate. Okay, cool. So let's take a look at our results here. We have shot number 1. Looks pretty cool. Shot number 2, I think only one of the eyes is red there, so not the best result. Shot number 3, I'm digging it. Looks pretty good. And then shot number 4, I think this is definitely the best shot. So we're gonna go ahead and use this one and go ahead and download it to your computer. Okay, so obviously in this example, we have a start frame and we want to animate to an end frame. Now, not every single AI video tool can pull this off. For example, Seed Dance cannot do this. So for our example, we're going to use Kling, mainly because you get the best quality for transformations. Google VO2 does have the ability to do this, but the quality is just not as good. So I'm inside of the Kling platform here. We're going to go to the video section and make sure you're in Kling 2.1. Kling 2.1 Master does not allow you to do start frame and end frame at this time. So for our start frame, we need to bring in the first frame of our shot. So this shot here, drag and drop that inside of Kling. And for our second shot, we're going to bring in the image of the character with his red eyes and the metal face. Go ahead and bring that into the end frame. Okay, cool. So we have both frames inside of Kling, and for our prompt, we'll say a man's face transforms into an evil metal overlord, which is just a really cool prompt there. And of course, you do have the ability to adjust the duration and the number of generations that you get from Kling. And when you're ready, go ahead and click generate. Okay, so we're gonna have 4 different generations here. Let's take a look at which ones are favorite. So here's generation number 1. That is pretty dang cool. Oh man, that's awesome. Okay, love that one. Let's take a look at number 2. Okay, I like it. Seems like it's like mechanical the way it's coming over his face. Maybe not as good, but still pretty cool. You have shot number 3 here. Oh man, that's cool. The way it like geometrically folds over his face. Love it. And then shot number 4. Okay, dang, that one is definitely my favorite. So there's how to pull off the transformation effect. Okay, so I'm really excited for this next example because I think it's incredibly practical when you're working on a film project. A lot of times you may have a few different shots, but then realize inside of post, dang it, I wish I would have had a wide shot, a shot from above, a closer shot. And typically you're completely hosed if that's the case. You got to go back and do reshoots. Well, using this technique, you can get coverage from all sorts of different angles using Nano Banana. It's really cool. Let me show you how it works. So we have this video footage here of this woman basically typing on a cell phone. Let's say that we're working on a cell phone commercial and we want to have a bunch of different angles of the exact same scene. Well, how do we pull that off? So first things first, we need to get a screenshot from the footage. So we'll take this screenshot here of the woman looking at the cell phone and we'll drag and drop this inside of FreePic. And let's start things off by being just really generic. We'll say, give me a completely different angle of the shot and go ahead and click generate. And let's take a look here. First shot, that's basically the same. Second shot, it's wider, looks pretty good. We have the third shot, which looks very similar. And then the fourth shot, which is a little lower. So pretty cool. Let's go ahead and art direct this a little further. Now let's do a completely different angle. So we'll say, give me this shot from above and go ahead and click generate. And after a few minutes, it created this shot here, not from above, this shot, which did an amazing job. So wow, 10 out of 10, really cool that it was able to change the angle there. we have this shot, again, too similar to the original image. And then we have this one here, which is not bad, but I do think the character is standing in kind of a different position. And she also has 2 purses there, which was not present in the original image. We can ask for a worm's eye view of this scene, and after just a few seconds, we get a few different results here. This one's not bad. This shot, not great. The shot from below is okay. And then we have this shot from below, which looks really, really good. Again, it's pretty cool. You can just change the camera angle in just a few seconds. So after a few minutes, we have a few different angles of the overall scene. Again, this is coverage if we're trying to work on a commercial project, and we can go in and animate these shots. So I went in and animated them inside of Google VO. It's funny because it also generates the sound effects and voice. Let's take a quick watch.
It's like my favorite time to just like go in my little bubble and just focus on myself.
I love the audio that it generates inside of VO. It's always like kind of random, but also contextually aware for what it should be. It's pretty amazing. So as you can see, you have the ability to get different angles of your scene, which is incredibly helpful because you can basically extend your shots. You can do wide shots to establish the story. There's all sorts of really creative use cases using Nano Banana. For our next example, I want to take a look at a motion design use case. So I have this video footage here of this gas station inside of the desert. And basically I want to outline the gas station. Let's say I'm working on a documentary project and the gas station is where the bad guys are hiding. So we want to do that like neon light outlining of the building. Well, first things first, we need to go ahead and do our screenshots. So we have our first screenshot here of the gas station, the close-up, and then as it begins to drift backwards, we have a second screenshot. So I'm going to animate this second screenshot inside a free pick. So let's go ahead and drag that image and we'll drop it inside a free pick. And for our prompt, we'll say, have a glowing wireframe label outline the gas station, darken the background a bit, and keep the gas station light. And go ahead and click generate. Okay, let's take a look at our results here. We have number 1, which looks awesome. We have number 2, it did basically a perfect job. I think I'd like the gas station to be a little lighter, but really, really good job outlining the building there. We have option number 3, not a great result. And then option number 4, I think it did the best job. There's just a lot of details there with the neon lights. So we'll go ahead and download that image. So to animate this scene, we need to do first frame and last frame. So let's go ahead and grab the first frame of the video footage and we'll drop it in the start frame section of Kling. And we'll go to the last frame and let's go ahead and grab that screenshot from Nano Banana and drop it into the end frame section. And for our prompt, we'll say animate the neon lines to outline the building and go ahead and click generate. Okay, after a couple minutes, we have a few different generations here. Let's take a look. So we have shot number 1 here. Incredible job. It would have taken me so long to do that inside of After Effects. We have shot number 2 here. Again, tons of fidelity, looks really, really good. Shot number 3, love it. And then shot number 4, maybe it's a little fast. I think I would slow down the animation a little bit, but still not too bad. I think using Nano Banana for a lot of these motion design and documentary labeling projects is a really awesome use case for the technology. You can use AI to animate between your text or your designs, and it just helps you to save a lot of time that you normally would spend inside of an animation software. And our final use case for using Nano Banana inside of film and video projects is colorizing black and white photographs. So I have this black and white image from the 1940s. Let's say that we want to colorize it. So we'll drag and drop it inside a free pick here, and we can be super simple. We can just say, colorize this image. If you wanted to define the specific colors, you could upload reference imagery. You have the ability to be as specific as you want, but we'll keep it pretty generic for this generation and go ahead and click generate. And after a few minutes, we have a few different results here. So we have shot number 1, not too bad. We have shot number 2. I think the background's a little too black and white. Not the best result there. Shot number 3, which looks really good. What I like about this one is it still has some of the scratches and imperfections from the original image inside. And then finally, we have shot number 4. It's a little too black and white in the background. So I think shot number 3 is the best result here. And let's go ahead and click Create Video inside of Free Pick. And we're going to use Seed Dance Pro here, and we'll say a woman looks around a parade. And go ahead and click Generate. This is our final shot here. It looks pretty good, especially there towards the end. I don't like how the line stays composited in the shot, and I have no idea what this is supposed to be. I've tried figuring it out. It was present in the original image. I don't know if it's like the brim of a hat. It's definitely not a person's face, but it's interpreting it as like a weird elongated face. So not too sure what that is. And then the other thing that I noticed inside of this video footage, which is incredible, is this guy's hat in the background. Look at that hat. It's like a 1800s top hat mixed with an army hat from the 1940s. Incredible. I think I may go as this guy for Halloween. Okay, so there you go. There's a few use cases for utilizing Nano Banana to pull off filmmaking and VFX results using online tools. Of course, if you want to learn how to do AI filmmaking or visual effects for yourself, be sure to check out our courses over at Curious Refuge. We train artists at every major studio, and we're in over 172 countries. We also throw AI filmmaking meetups all around the world. So if you would like to join our community, we would love to have you inside of our program. And of course, if you want to get the latest AI film news sent directly to your inbox, you can subscribe over on curiousrefuge.com. We hand curate the news to give you the latest AI filmmaking news that you need to know. And be sure to like and subscribe here on YouTube to get the latest tutorials directly here on the platform. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.